Well, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Adam for your hard work as we are going to change guest commentators and for the last session, which will be coming up just now. So we have the female minus 68 kilogram category, and the bout is between Egypt's Ferial Abdelziz and Japan's Tubasa, Kama Tubasa. And to join me for the commentary is our next guest commentator, and another athlete who's been competing in the Karate 1 Premier League here in Rabat, Niamh Junna from Scotland. Niamh, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
And Niamh, you know what, you're going to be looking at your weight division in this in particular as we go through. But you must study all of these athletes in KUMITE anyway.
Yeah, definitely, especially at the Premier League level. It's the top level at World Karate, so if you're here competing at all the events, you start to know the familiar faces and know who the top of each category are.
And what can you tell us about these two players?
So in red, we've got Kama from Japan. She was in the final in China against Elena Kurici from Switzerland. And then in A, we've got Ferial from Egypt. She was Olympic champion in Tokyo at the last Olympics. So two very, very good athletes, but both different types of fighters. So it'll be an interesting match to see who comes out on top. And
you mentioned Elena Kurici. And I can tell you, Elena Kurici is the new grand winner. She was grand winner last season as well, but she did lose in the quarter-final, 6 points to 2, and she lost against Ferial Abdelziz.
Yep, it was a very, very close match. I think they both know each other so well, and they also fought against each other in the Olympics in Tokyo. Ferial's taken a break. I think she had a beautiful baby, so she's had her points frozen and coming back, so it's nice to see her back and the medals once again.
And you mentioned that, and I think it's great that you do, that young mothers can have Arina Zaretska as another, Angelica Teliuga another, which is wonderful, and it's great, I think, that the WKF does freeze those points so you can come back in a winning position. And here we have Ferial Abdelziz going for a bronze medal, and Arina Zaretska going for a bronze medal, which is brilliant to see.
Definitely. I think for women competing at such a high level of sport, it's so important that there's a way out there that they can freeze their points, go, have a baby, recover well, and then still come back and be able to compete at the top level again.
Exactly. So just whilst we're waiting for the action to get back in, how do you feel about your performance, Niamh? I was watching and you were so close.
Yeah, it's always the same. I think in elite level sport you have some highs, you have some lows. Yesterday wasn't my day, unfortunately. 3 close matches in the pool. 2 of them I was winning, and then unfortunately the result went a girl that I lost to in the pool. She's in the bronze match later on this evening, so it'll be interesting to see how she gets on in that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get, I mean, this, I have to say, you got the best seat in the house, really, apart from actually being a few feet in front of us on the tatami. This is a great advantage, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I've got a front seat view to be able to watch it live, so it's great to be able to be so close to the action.
I would argue the next best thing to competing.
Definitely, and I've been here a few times myself. I've been in a few bronze medal matches, still yet to break into the Premier League medals, but it's such an opportunity to be able to compete on this stage, and such a beautiful arena as well, and for this being the final event of the 2025 season, it's such a great opportunity for these athletes.
And for you, again, just thinking about your circumstances, this isn't the end of the road, it's the end of the season, but we've still got the World Games to come, there's still the World Championships to come, there's still a qualifier to come, there are still lots of karate competitions to get into.
Yeah,
What's next on the plan for you?
I think possibly a slight break. The season's been very, very intense since January. So there's been back-to-back Premier Leagues, and also we had the Senior European Championships not long ago in Armenia. So probably a little bit of rest, and to see after this tournament and after the African Championships where I'm sitting in the world rankings, there's a chance maybe I qualify directly for the World Championships.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, if I do, then this is perfect. Then we start to prepare for this. If not, then it'll be full focus on for preparing for the qual tournament in Paris in October.
And that's going to be difficult though, isn't it? The qualification tournament, my word. You'll have to go through goodness knows how many rounds.
Yes, definitely, but the only advantage is the top ranked athletes won't be there, so maybe it's not going to be as difficult as a Premier League, but like you said, yeah, there's going to be a lot of great athletes there from all the continents around the world, so definitely still a top level event.
So how do you feel about the World Championships, the new format of the World Championships?
I think it's great. I think it follows the same format as the Premier Leagues and how everyone's fighting. I love the idea that you come and you definitely get more than one match.
Just getting some waves from Stefanos Senos there, who was one of the fantastic Greek fighters, took a medal earlier. Sorry, Neve.
Yeah, so the format of being able to fight in a group of 4, having 3 matches minimum, it's great for your experience and for your exposure. And like myself in China, I unfortunately lost the first match, but I was then able to recover, win the other 2 matches, and I still progressed through the pool. So normally in a knockout competition, if you lose the first match, you're out of the competition, but there, with this format, you can see athletes maybe not perform their best, and then they come back and progress through the rounds and can eventually be amongst the medals later on.
Absolutely, and with the amount of travel and the costs associated, you could go halfway across the world for a 2 minute or 3 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah.
You need to go all but with the round robin system, at least you get.
Me to travel and be here.
Absolutely, you said self-funded. Do you have a sponsor?
No, not at the moment.
Would you like one? I'm sure there's someone out there who would say, Neve, I will be happy to help you.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's difficult coming from a smaller nation, fighting against so many big nations who have funding and a lot of support. The UK and Scotland, England, we'll see Rochelle fighting later on in the final, plus 68. We've produced fighters over the years with not a lot of support behind us, so we can do it, we can be there, but maybe a bit more support or funding behind us, who knows what could happen.
Money's not everything, but it helps if you've got some.
Definitely, I think it just takes the pressure of the athletes been having to work or do other things. They can focus on training, focus on the competition, and just turn up and do their job on the tatami.
Okay, well, we can see our focus on the tatami is once again, we're back in the action. Abdelziz, Farel Abdelziz has got herself now on to 4 yellow warnings. She's on the last chance. She can't take any more fouls, otherwise she'll lose the bout. Kama Tubasa sitting in the center of the tatami. And with still 1 minute 14 seconds, if you've got really know where to go with, you can't take a joga, you can't do anything wrong now. That's a tough one to manage that time, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But I think Ferial, she's very long. She's a bit taller than her opponent, so she can sit in the middle quite confidently and dominate the middle. And there you see, she's just sat in the middle of the mat and took the opportunity to take the first score.
Doing exactly what you suggested she might do. And what a classic Yakuzuki reverse punch she pulled out there. But Kama Tubasa is also in with a shout, because look, the punches went in pretty much the same time. From that angle, we know that Abdullah see the punch finish from Kama, but this side may be. No, can't see from that angle either, really, can we? So if they happen at the same time, they can both score. If Ferial Abdelaziz is first and Kama second, Kama can't score because it's a second technique, but that looked pretty close together.
Yeah, it looks almost same time. I think the only thing is Ferial, like I said, has a longer reach, so maybe she's touched slightly before, but as you can see, they've accepted the point as a Yukos. It looked that they went.
It looked the same, didn't it?
Yes, definitely.
So that's great, and that means that there is no senchu being awarded at this stage. And Kama just going to get a little more attention from the medic, from the doctor. I mean, we know, don't we, Neve, that karate is a combat sport, it's a contact sport. The objective is not to inflict injury, the objective is to score points with control, absolute precision, but sometimes injuries do occur. And you have to deal with it. You're tough cookies, you're karateka, you're fighters, and you deal with that. But in the mind of now Abdelaziz, how do you think she, the scores are the same? How is she feeling now, do you think?
I think she's a very experienced athlete. I think she'll stay calm. She looks composed on the tatami. She's, like you said, she's got 4 warnings, so she has to dominate the centre. She can't afford to take a jogai or grab or have another penalty, or she'll be disqualified. But I think she'll keep the game plan the same, dominate the middle, use her reach and use her legs to keep Kama away. But it's like you said, there's no sensu, so anything can happen. There's still another 45, 46 seconds to go.
She can't push, she can't pull, she can't step off the mat, she can't inflict injury with a contact. So Abdelziz can only score to ensure a win. But it's Kama now. He's taken advantage of all of those weaknesses in the defence that Abdelziz now has against her to extend her position. She'll take the score, which is a Yuko, and she'll now get the sensu. Abdelziz has now got to go forward and try to impose herself on the bout.
Yeah, definitely, and she needs 2 points now because of this. Well, now we've just seen another score, but she needs to have 1 more point than the opponent because this sensu is so key in a match. So now Kama's just been awarded as Wazari, so she now needs 4 points, but she's coach of Ferial's just asked for the video review, so we'll see.
So there's a kick from red, and there's an attack over the top from blue. It was a double attack, wasn't it? It was her right hand and then her left hand, but the kick was in the middle of the attack.
Yeah, I think the kicks just stopped Ferial slightly in her tracks. Whether it reaches the target is hard to say from the video, but they've obviously given the score to Kama. But as a coach, she's losing the match. There's 17 seconds to go. You don't want to have to take the card home with you back to your country, so you need to use it, especially in a medal match. So
she's lost the card now, and she's lost the point. 15 seconds. Kama still leading. 4 points to 1. Abdelziz is going to find herself a little more frustrated because that's another point going to Japan. Tubasa Kama goes for the side kick once again. Abdelziz making that attack. Video review requested. Do you think this one's a tactical call?
I don't know. I think Kama threw a punch right at the end of the match, but it gives her a chance to go back to the centre of the tatami. She can compose herself, she can breathe, and it means she's also back in the middle. She can still go out and take a jogai and lose the sensu, so she'll still only go to hands.
She's got a lot of things going for her, hasn't she?
Yeah.
She tries to kick, and then she put the punch in over the top.
Yeah, I think it's a good call from the coach. I think, okay, she's scored a Wazari already with this technique, so it could be point again. If not, it gives her another chance.
And the video review referee doesn't know what they're looking for, whether it's a kick or a punch. They have to review the whole 6 seconds previous to the call for video review to make a decision. But it's time up, and it's a 5 points to 1 win, and it's going to Kama Tubasa of Japan. That was quite an eventful event.
Yeah, definitely, it's a great first match for minus 68 at the start of the match. It's quite cagey, always in medal matches it can be like this, but as soon as the first point scored, everything opens up. The athletes have to go, they have to take risks, especially here in such the high level. If you make one mistake, it can unfortunately cost you the match.
Okay, Ferial Abdelziz didn't take the bronze medal today, but she can be really her comeback.
Yes, definitely. She's
getting back on the tatami.
She won the group, she got through to the semi-finals, and then unfortunately lost against the other Egyptian who we'll see in the final. But to come back from pregnancy and taking time out, she won't have trained, so this road to recovery and road back to competing at this level is an achievement in herself, so she should definitely be proud of her performance.
Just a chance to have a look at some of the technique, and that was a fantastic point from Abdelziz.
Yeah, she'd done, and yeah, it definitely was a great point for her to take at the start of the match.
And of course, that little bit of excessive contact did cost her in terms of what her strategies might be. But again, it's that mat time, the distancing, all of those things that come with frequency on the mat as opposed to taking time out. Your timing is affected. Everything's affected, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And even though she's got so much experience as a fighter, taking time away from elite level competition is always difficult. So you need to get back. You need to compete here against the best to get back to that level. But I'm sure she'll definitely make it. She's already here competing for medals again. So I don't think it'll be long before she's back on the podium soon.
Here we have Elena Selier from Ukraine up against Azerbaijan's Arina Zaretska, and this is the other athlete we were talking about, coming back in after starting her family and having a lovely little baby that we got to see in Cairo when she was commentating, and the camera saw the baby in the audience and she said, that's my baby. It was a wonderful moment for Irina. And she tells me that she takes the baby everywhere, so she goes to all the competitions.
Yeah, it's great that the mums can travel with their babies. They obviously don't want to leave them at home, so it's nice to have the opportunity to be able to bring them to competitions so they can still continue to compete at the highest level.
Here we have another young mum going for a bronze medal. It's not going to be easy. Alina Selier of Ukraine is no stranger to success. She's been a Karate1 Premier League silver medalist and twice a bronze medalist. Just 22 years of age.
Both these fighters have a similar style. They've both come out in right stance, which is, you could say is probably not the most common stance. Most athletes fighting left, so similar jumping, similar rhythm. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to work out, almost like fighting in a mirror. So we'll see how they cope and what tactics the coaches have decided for them to try in the match.
And often this southpaw in boxing terms is a southpaw are left-handed people who prefer to fight in that stance, and that can be awkward against right-handed people, for the right-handed people mostly, because the left-hander are usually in the minority, aren't they, in the population. But in karate terms, you train to fight in both stances?
Myself, I prefer to fight in left. I can move and fight in right stance as well, but I think the way it is in elite competition, you should be able to do techniques in both. It gives you an alternative angle or another option if you're losing to change stance. It's a different perspective for yourself and for the opponent, and it's a different tactic. There's different techniques available, different areas that are open for scoring, so it can definitely change the match if you can fight in both stances.
We have 2 points on the board now, and both of them have gone to Ukraine's Elena Selier. And with retaining those points, as we talked about, what's great about that is it means that Arina Zaretska is also qualified for the World Games. Yes. Because she can hold those points.
She was also world champion in Budapest.
So she's the current world champion?
The current world champion, yeah, and she's qualified for the World Games as well, but this is definitely the strongest category, I think, in my opinion, for female. There's so many top athletes. You have Arina, you have Slimaneva, you have Elena Corici, you have Isabella from Spain, you have Kama from Japan, you have Silvia from Italy. There's multiple females, and they're all within the medals all the time. This time Elena's retained her grand winner for our consistency throughout the season, but in all the tournaments it's the same faces, the same girls that you're seeing on the podium time and time again, and for the younger ones coming through, it's their chance to chase them and try and knock them off the top spot.
Well, absolutely, and we see that happens. Of course, the junior ranks are getting stronger as they come through, and that demonstrates the Karate1 Premier League, Karate1A series, and the youth league is all working, isn't it? It's like a well-oiled machine. It's producing the goods. all the way through.
Yeah, it's a great development system. I was fortunate I was able to compete in the youth leagues. Great development system. I was fortunate I was able to compete in the youth leagues when I turned 18. Under 21, they started the youth league in the under 21 categories as well, which I think is fantastic. It gives the under 21s another top level competition to fight in, instead of just fighting here at a Premier League against really experienced seniors.
You see that kick, sorry to cut across you, the kick from, but there was a great kick there from Zaretska that's going to be considered in a video review. Was it blocked though? The kick went up, there's no doubt about that. But was it blocked? It looks like the back, but was it blocked? It looks like the backhand.
Just not close enough to the target. If the glove might not have been there, then maybe, possibly a score,
Yes.
but that protection just puts doubt in the referee's mind.
And there, it's been rejected, so no card for Zaretska. Good Shiranzuki from Zaretska, no need for a video review.
Yeah, like for her experience, she's changed the tactic. She's unfortunately lost the card, but she switched. Instead of using the legs and moving, she's put pressure on, and as soon as Slimaneva started the attack, she's countered and went Chudan and changed the height. This is what happens with these athletes at this level. They've got so much experience.
Exactly.
They can change constantly, and you need to be able to change and adapt in a match. You can't sometimes stay with the same tactic throughout the full match. You need to be able to produce something different, and she's done it there to get herself back in the match.
30 seconds still to go. She still trails 3 points to 1, and the century against her. Suzuki again from both players. Video review request this time from the Ukrainian coach. Let's have a look. We're looking at a video review request for red. There's the punch off the front hand. And it's gone. It looks like it went between the hands, did it?
It's managed to just slip in between the guard of Irina, so potentially, and it's on target. So
Yep,
yeah, it makes contact with the face. It's got good hikite, good pullback.
You would expect a point for that, would you?
Yeah, I think so.
See if the video review referee agrees.
Yeah, and they've given the point. It was obviously maybe with the guard of Irina, it was hard for the judges to see so quickly, but on video review.
And the punch went right through the middle of it, didn't it? Tries for a side kick to stop the attack from Zaretska, but she's asking the coach to put the card in, but the coach has decided not to. She's 4 points to 1. She's going to lose the Senchu. So a 3-point score from Zaretska would be something really special, wouldn't it? Not today.
It's Aka, bronze medal, Elena Selier of Ukraine. Congratulations to her.
Oh, Elena Selier taking that well-earned bronze medal against a fabulous champion, Irina Zaretska, who I'm sure will be back in complete winning ways very soon, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said before, it just takes time for her to come back. This is only her second competition back after after having our baby. So it takes
something like 18 months away from the mat.
And it takes time to get back to competing at this elite level. But with training and coming back to competition, it's the only way to do it. So she just has to continue on the road to getting back to fighting amongst the best again.
this is going to be between Egypt and France.
Yeah, a very, very interesting final. Zombie won her semi-final in fashion. She won 8-0 before the time was out, so a very confident performance for her coming into this final. And same with Hendy, she had a really, really tough group. She had Najreen from Morocco, the home nation, Schroeter from Germany, and also Isabella, who's the current vice-European champion not long ago in Armenia. So she came through a really, really tough pool in order to get here. So yeah, I think it'll be an exciting final.
You have any prediction?
I think Zombie has the agility and the speed, but the reach of Egypt I think could cause her some problems. But we'll see what her tactics are and how she adapts to the height difference.
But both of them having the ability to score with punches or kicks. See Ippons and Yukos and Wazaris.
Yeah, I think we could see a variety of techniques across Yuko, Wazari and Ippon. It just depends on who scores first and what the match unfolds for us.
So do you obviously know each other? Do you speak with each other off the mat?
Yeah, I think it's a community. Out with the competition, it's the same people you see in the circuit at every event, and you start to get to know each other, even become friends with the people in your category and across other categories. It's a really great family almost to be part of in the top level of world karate. So yeah, I think it's nice to be able to share moments on the tatami, but also off the tatami when it's not as serious or with medals up for grabs.
Well, and that's a credit to the sport. It's a credit to the athletes that is the case. So this 3-minute bout, we have Sombe in blue for France and Hende of Egypt. Sombe had a sister competing earlier.
Yeah, she won bronze earlier on. So it would be nice for the sisters to come back with gold and bronze. Would be a nice addition to their medal collection.
Referee Joaquim Fernandez of Portugal calls a halt to proceedings. He wants to invoke a passivity warning. Needs to get a bit more action. Referee does that, or aren't you really bothered?
No, I think it's sometimes in senior, it's sometimes part of the match when it's opponent you know very well. I'm sure these girls have fought against each other many times, so having a passivity at the start of the match, sometimes it can be normal. It's just about finding out about what your opponent wants to do, testing the distance, provoking, just seeing where you are in the tatami. So no, I don't think either of them will be affected about it at all.
No. I mean, if you were looking at other sports, sometimes you need the build-up, don't you? You need rallies in tennis before somebody succumbs to the pressure. You need a build-up to the goal in football. It doesn't happen immediately, does it?
Yeah, definitely, and it's so important here to have a good preparation of your technique, good movement, good distance, in order to make sure you hit all of the criteria, which makes a score.
So it's a kind of, well, if I do this, what do you do?
It's almost like a very, very quick game of chess. When you make a move, your opponent makes a move, and what move are you going to do to counter that? And it keeps going like that until there's a point, like we see from Zombie here.
And there's a video review requested from the coach of Hendy. So no censure awarded just yet. Get a chance with the review. So we're looking at a point from blue and a video review from red. Now, the attack from red was before the point scored from blue, if you look at that punch there. But did red meet the criteria? Her arm is pretty much straight there, isn't it?
Yeah, she does make contact with Zombie's face at the end of the technique, but whether the referees reach, we're meant to have some give left in the punch, so but it definitely is on the target, and like you said, it's before her punch, so they're able to give it on video review.
Video review referee has decided that it is a valid point. Kathy Bailey from the United States, Dr. Kathy Bailey, should I say. She is a physician. So there's no sensu awarded to either of them. No advantage. This time Sombe goes in and she's the only one to go for that point. It looked like as Hendy was asking the coach to put the video review in, but he hasn't chosen to do so.
Yeah, I think there's still 43 seconds left in the match. There might be another opportunity where Hendy can take the score in video review, so I think the coach is playing tactically in order to play at another moment in the match.
And an incredibly experienced coach he is for France. That's Olivier Baudry, world champion. Massive experience for the team and individual France. And your coach was the world team champion.
Yes, Jerry Fleming. Yeah,
Jerry Fleming.
Yeah, I trained with him in Scotland. He's the current head coach of the senior team in Scotland, so he's a part of my preparation back in Scotland. But I'm also training with Team KUMITE 2020 in Switzerland as well. We've got an international team as well, and training in Europe is definitely the way forward for smaller nations. In order to be here, to be competing with the best, you need to train with the best. And
you do indeed. And it is making a huge difference, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely the difference in my performance, especially from transitioning from under 21 into senior. You need to make the jump. You need to change something in your training and your preparation. And I was so lucky. I was able to find Elaine and Rule, and the amount of experience and knowledge they've been able to give me over the last 2-3 years has been absolutely amazing.
We're looking at another video review request here, and once more it's from the Egyptian coach for Hendy, and it was for there was a kick that was delivered. Interesting to see if it makes the criteria. It doesn't. Sombe on 3 warnings now. Still has that lead, 2 points to 1. So Sombe couldn't quite pull off that takedown, could she, Niamh?
Yeah, she's very good with the Ashibarai. She scored an excellent Ashibarai in the team final in the Europeans in Armenia against Germany. It was a fabulous technique. So, but she's definitely one to watch with the Ashibarai.
The Ashibarai being the leg sweep.
Now it can be interesting. There's 6 seconds to go. She's going to lose Sensu. Hendy only needs 1 point in order for it to go to
Hikiwaki.
Yep, in referee decision. So this is interesting of what's going to happen here and how Sombe's going to manage this last part of the match.
Sombe can't foul. Video review requested from the coach of Sombe. Hendy has no video review option left. That's it. I know you're saying about you can't take it back home with you. That card, you got to use it. But when you use it, is the last few seconds of the bout is really crucial, isn't it?
Yeah, hindsight's a wonderful thing, Billy. If you would know right at the end of the match you need the card, then if you could have a crystal ball, I'm sure all the coaches would take it. But at some points early in the match, sometimes you need to use it to stop your opponent getting sensu or in order to keep yourself in the match. So. But that's why the coaches are here. They have their expertise and they have the best view of the match to be able to see when to play the card.
And that was an exciting match. Different tactics being demonstrated there on the. But all smiles, particularly if you win.
Yeah, definitely. It's always nice to come off after a final or even the bronze match you see them all smiles on the podium.
Or dance off in this case.
Yeah, definitely.
Perhaps she's preparing for the gala that is to be held at the end of the event here in Rabat, where the presentations will be made of all the grand winners of the 12 divisions.
Yeah, it was a great event last year. It was my first time attending it last year, and the WKF put on a great event, so I'm sure it'll be another enjoyable evening tonight.
And that, of course, will be hosted by the